Did you catch a kiss today? Well, Luke Gallows wants to know. When we look at the latest episode of BTE, this is your weekly review. I'm GG on wrestling. Today we're looking at episode 271, which is titled Milwaukee Young Bucks. Stay tuned for more. What's going on, people? Another BTE review. I'm GG at GG on wrestling on Twitter. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and make sure you check out There's Something About Wrestling wherever you get your podcast from. Before we get into the episode this week, again, I just want to shout out figtees.co.uk. Makes great custom figures for all of your figure needs. Loads of selection on there, great service, and just a great guy. There's one that I've got made of my podcast logo. Make sure you check it out and use code GGPod, and you can save yourself some money as well. Not a bad episode this week. Some good stuff. So let's get straight into it. So we start with the Elite saying their goodbyes, and obviously there is only one way to do that now, which is the Elite handshake, of course. And we get our first ever double Elite handshake with Kenny and the Good Brothers, which was quite funny. They were saying their goodbyes. It made me laugh. Luke Gallows going, I'm gonna head out as well to Matt Jackson just so he could get the handshake going. They try and give Nakazawa a little kiss. He's clearly not that fond of male affection. He's just doesn't want the kiss, basically. They're talking about the handshake, how it'd be never duplicated. A great little line. I think it was from Matt Jackson, who said that, you know, a group's going to come along in a few years and they're going to try and steal that handshake, which is, of course, a reference to the whole Too Sweet. And then Carl Anderson chimes in with, yeah, just like the NWO stole our shit, which was quite funny. Lovely shot of Kenny. Him and Matt Jackson basically say never duplicated. Often duplicated, never. I forget the saying, but they woo at the same time, but they didn't. Now, Matt, this wasn't the same time. I saw your lips moving after Kenny said the woo. This wasn't, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know if that was a same time thing or you just got in there after. Either way, classic off his head, cleaner Kenny. But yeah, if you're listening to the audio version, make sure you check out the YouTube for screenshots of BTE and what I'm referring to there, or watch the episode yourself, and I'm sure you know what I'm referring to. We get the BTE cold open there, and then we get a shot of Sammy and the Young Bucks, and I'm sure someone else was with Sammy as well. I forget who it was. Sneaker shopping, trainer shopping, crepe shopping. For cover all dialects there. The Young Bucks are just getting very, very braggadocious in terms of their kicks. You know, Sammy says, "Oh, there's some $600 ones over there," and they're like, "Oh, that's that's too light for me." I get it, Bucks. You got money, your heels, but I don't know, man. It's wearing thin on me even now. But the highlight of this, if you haven't seen it yet, check it out. Or not even highlight. That's a bit bad. But Matt Jackson, we see him go out to his car, and he's basically saying the guys in the shop, they've never seen Dior's, so I've brought mine with me. I wanted them to see the real deal in person, to see the real thing. Seemed really gassed of himself. Finds out they're not in his bag. Where could they be? We shall see later on in the episode. We then get a shot of Marco Stunt with the BTE belt, and finally we're getting some BTE title defenses again on the show. Of course, Cesar Bonone is the number one contender, so we get a little challenge, just a little race up the stairs in the stadium, around and back down. Peter Avalon says, "Oh, well, you guys can trust me. I'll keep score," which was a nice touch because obviously Peter is a notorious cretin. Then Marco successfully defends his title in the race, wins by 0.6 seconds, I think it was. So a very close win. We then get Matt Jackson, who's basically given us some more information on where his Dior's have gone. He said they weren't in his bag, and he checked in the room, I think they were on their way to another place, so quickly went to check the room. They weren't there, and I think Nick and Brandon had their bags searched because they left a tag on it, and that wasn't left on his, but his trainers are gone. 6, 7, 8 grand pair of crepes stolen from your bag. You're fuming. You're absolutely fuming. Mad. And the shame is they're obviously a gift from his wife for his birthday. I've been watching BTE religiously, so I do know that they were after those trainers for a while. Even when they popped up wearing them on Dynamite, I was like, oh, they've actually got a pair. Not anymore. Moving on, we now get another Ryan Namath segment, all to do with Cream. We get some graphics on the screen that say its street name is Cream. And it's almost like a retelling of a guy overdosing on cream at a family party. Ryan Namath's making it absolutely clear that he's not from this town. He was only going there to see his sister, and she left him there, and it was all a bit confusing. We get another question on screen. Overall, how has cream affected your life? A question I never thought I'd ask myself. Affected my life? I mean, it's probably made it a bit better depending on what dessert I'm having, but another very strange segment. Please, someone explain all this to me. I just don't get it. Next up, we get a shot of the Bucks and Kenny in the locker room. There are obviously two things that are for certain every week. Finish it with me, guys. A rubbish Dynamite or boring Dynamite and a new pair of trainers. Here they're just kind of bragging about their trainers again. Nick Jack, and they're really getting a bit on top with the bragging about resale prices. I, for one, hate resale prices. I'm a bit of a collector myself. I'm not, I've got some J's, got some Yeezys, I've got some, customs and stuff, but yeah, these lot just bragging about paying the resale prices. I mean, lucky for some, isn't it? You can see in the screenshot for audio listeners, we've got a pair of both trainers that Nick and Matt are showing off here. So Nick's got the Air Force Ones, they're St. Patrick's Day. He said he paid like $250 for. I don't think I'd ever paid $250 for some Air Forces, especially them ones. They're not cool. And Matt has got some Trick or Treat SBs. Not a fan of SBs myself, and he paid $600 for them. They're limited run, but none for that. Not for me. Thank you very much. But yeah, tell me your thoughts. I'm getting a bit, I know they're heels, but I'm getting a bit sick of the whole bragging about resale prices on trainers, especially when we got man out here struggling in raffles, just trying to get one pair of Travis Scott lows, Feel for me here, man. We then get some Cutler Cam footage of the Bucks coming out to watch the Varsity Blondes against the Lucha Brothers. Kind of two ends of the scale here. We get Luke Gallows says that he basically comes every time he hears a pop, and Brandon says, well, that's going to happen a lot. And yeah, and then we get Carl Anderson, who a bit on edge, a bit nervous because he didn't manage to catch one before he came out, and he's just not used to it. He usually catches a kiss before he comes out, so that was a bit of a shame. Felt for him there. This is where Luke Gallows asks, ask him if anyone's caught a kiss today, and Brandon asks you to leave it in the comments. If any of you have left that in the comments, get away from this video now. Disgraceful. We get a shot of Ray Phoenix landing his Swanton bomb. I'm not sure if it was to Griff or to Brian Pillman off the top of my head, but Carl Anderson says that was stiff, Jeff Hardy stiff, as I don't know if anyone knows, but Jeff Hardy is notoriously stiff with his swantons and does not, try and protect his opponent in any way. So that was just a good little jab there. Not even a jab, but a good little call there. Another entertaining segment I find is really entertaining each week. It is the best friends, Wheeler Utah, in the hotel room watching tape from their match. Chuck Taylor needs to be on commentary. His commentary is so entertaining. So in this, he says, guy in leather pants, what's he going to do? He's got ya. What's he going to do now? 69 driver, which is, of course, a tombstone pile driver, but 69 driver is how I will refer to it for the rest of my life, apart from when the big man Taker does it, because no disrespect to Big Mark. But that was funny. They win the match, but Chris Statlander still chokes Wheeler Yuta out, as we're getting every week now. Wheeler's through, his strangled neck, he's trying to say, we won, but doesn't matter. And Chris Stander said a line which I love. Nobody even knows your finisher, because that's how terrible you are, or something like that, which was, let me know in the comments if you know Wheeler Yuta's finisher. I have seen a few of his matches recently. I watched the Danny Garcia match. Must recommend that match if you haven't seen it. If you've got an hour spare, it's not a waste of an hour. But yeah, I'm not even sure what his finish is. So that was a good little jab by Chris Statlander. We get some Cutler Cam footage of Kenny and Don Callis in the ring with Christian Cage from this week. I just love the shot of Don Callis's shoes. I've got it up on the screen now. If you're an audio listener, check it out, or you would have seen the episode. But man, are they some crazy crepes. What a mad crep check. Next, the closing segment is, of course, he's back, Johnny Hungy, my guy, and he's there. He's clearly, he's fallen on hard times. He says the Dark Order is all gone wrong. Everyone's at each other's throats. Hangman's left. And he says, what would Hangman do? Which we know, of course, he'd have a drink, which John Silver does. Cuts to him a bit drunk, and we get his rendition of the Cult of Personality, which was, look in my butt, what do you see? A bunch of poo pee. I came up with my own remix this week. I've been singing in my head since CM Punk's return, which ended with, look on my plate, what do you see? Bacon, eggs, ham, and cheese. Let me know in the comments which one you prefer, mine or John Silver's version. But yeah, not a bad episode. Some good stuff. My heart goes out to Matt Jackson for losing his Dior's. That is very sad to hear. But as Kenny makes very clear later on in the episode, they can afford a new one. And Matt Jackson's given his serial number to StockX. So if they do pop up, nobody's making money off them. But yeah, they don't seem that hard done by, especially when they're, bragging about these resale prices. So hopefully those Dior's haven't come up in price since Dana bought him his pair. But yeah, pretty good episode, better than last week, definitely. Some strong moments. Gallows and Anderson always entertaining on these BTEs, and yeah, not a bad week at all. Let me know what you think, guys. Leave a comment, or make sure you get at me on Twitter at GG on Wrestling. Let me know your highlights for this week's BTE. Make sure you like and subscribe. Tune in next week. I will be here same time. And make sure you check out the podcast wherever you get your podcasts from. Again, figtees.co.uk. Make sure you're using them for all your custom figure shirts. Use code GGPod and you can save yourself some money as well. It's been a pleasure, guys. Make sure you're following the movements. Make sure you're watching BTE. And make sure you're following me, GG. As always, respect yourself. Don't neglect yourself.